Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make the cluster stitch. All you will need is crochet hook. This is size J, 6.0 millimeters US, and yarn of your choosing. This is a medium 4. I like this color, but we're going to be using yellow for the demonstration. Now you might be thinking, I thought this was a beginner's channel, Atreyu. Well, it is a beginner's channel. The wonderful thing about crocheting is that regardless of how complicated a project may seem, it is always composed of the very basic stitches, and you just continue to build and build and build until you have something that looks amazing like this. Okay, for example, this, even though this looks like a lot, we use a slip knot, we use the chain stitch, we use single crochet. The tallest stitch we use is actually a double crochet, and that's it. So hopefully I've convinced you. Now let's get to the tutorial. Alright, as with so many tutorials that I have shown you on this channel, we're going to start with the slip knot. You guys should be experts at doing this by now. Insert a hook. Alrighty. Now we're going to chain out an even number of stitches, okay? I like 20, so I'm going to chain 20. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20. Okay? So now we're going to work single crochets into the second chain stitch from the hook. So here's the hook. Here's that first chain from the hook. In fact, it's right at the hook. And this is the second chain from the hook. And we're going to work a single crochet in there. So we'll skip that one and we'll go into there like that. Yarn over, pull through to the front. Yarn over, go through 2. Remember, that's the single crochet. Now we're going to work a single crochet into the very next stitch, so that's right there. So we go in just like before, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2. So we have 2 single crochets side by side. Now we're going to chain 1. And looking at this row of chains right here, we're going to skip the next chain and we're going to put a single crochet into the chain thereafter. So we have that chain down there that we're going to skip, and we're going to single crochet into this chain right here. So we go into it like that. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, and we're going to repeat that pattern, which is chain 1. That chain 1 right there will line up with this chain, so we're going to skip it. See how they line up? And we're going to go into the very next chain. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2. Okay? And so you have these little, what we're calling chain 1 spaces. That chain 1 there and that chain 1 there creates a space there, and it creates a space there. So we're going to continue doing this. Chain 1, skip a chain, and then we're going to put the single crochet, the next one, into that single crochet there. Or into that chain stitch there. Okay, we will do this until we get to the end of the row, and at the end of the row we're going to put 2 single crochets into the last 2 stitches. So I will meet you there. Okay, so if we look at this, we have 3 more chains left, believe it or not. Okay, there's one right there, a huge one, and then there's a little bitty one right there. So I'm going to chain 1 just like before, skip that chain and go into that really stretched out one and put a single crochet there. And then there is a chain stitch there, we just have to get in there, it's kind of tight. Put another single crochet into that very last chain. Okay? So if we look at this, we started with 2 single crochets, and then we started the pattern chain 1, skip a chain, put a single crochet, chain one, skip a chain, put a single crochet, and we did that until we wound up with 3 chain stitches at the end, and then we ended with 2 single crochets without any chains in between. So we ended the row just the same way that we started it. Alright, moving on to the next row. We're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is row 2 now. We're going to turn our work like I just did, and then we're going to locate the first chain 1 space. Okay, so remember I told you that whenever we chained 1, those are the chain 1 spaces, right? So that's chain 1 space, that's a chain 1 space, that's a chain 1 space. It's the same thing on this side. That's a chain 1 space, that's a chain 1 space, that's a chain 1 space. And now we're going to make our first cluster. So this is the really fun part, guys. So we're gonna yarn over once as if though we're about to make a double crochet. We're going to insert our hook into this chain 1 space. We'll yarn over and pull it through to the front as if we're still making that double crochet. Yarn over, go through 1, 2. So it's just like we're still making that double crochet, but now this is where it changes. Notice we have 2 loops on our crochet hook. Normally, to finish off the double crochet, we would yarn over and go through these last 2, but we're not. We're going to yarn over and we're going to start over as if though we're about to make another double crochet. So I yarned over, go back into that same chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over and go through 1, 2. Now we have 3 loops, okay? We're going to keep repeating this until we have a total of 5 loops on our crochet hook. So now yarn over, go back into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 1, 2. Now we have 4 loops on our crochet hook. So we have to do this one more time to get to 5 loops. Yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, that same space, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 1 and 2. Now that we have 5 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can yarn over and go through all of them at the same time. And now we're going to chain 1. Okay? Now we're going to locate the next chain 1 space from the row below. So from row 1. So that's a single crochet, that's not a chain 1 space, but oh, here's one. So we're going to do the same thing. Yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through the front, yarn over, go through 2. 1. Yarn over, go back in, go through 2. That's 2. 3 loops. Yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through the front, yarn over, go through 2. 4 loops on our space, that's 3. And when I say 3, I'm counting the number of double crochet or almost double crochets that I've created into this cluster. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3. We got to do it one more time because even though we have 3 almost double crochets, we have 4 loops, right? So we need 5. Yarn over, going back into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 1, 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can yarn over, go through all 5 again. Chain 1. Find the next chain 1 space. That's a single crochet, so nope. Ah, there it is. Alright, now I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster. And I'm going to count the number of almost double crochets as I do it, okay? So yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, go through 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that I have 4 almost double crochets, quasi double crochets, I have 5 loops. So now I can do the final yarn over and go through all the loops, all 5 loops, okay? And then chain 1. And this is starting to form the clusters, as you see. So I'm going to do this until I get to the end of the row, and I'll check in with you there. Okay, so I'm near the end of the row, and what I have left is these 2 in single crochets, but I have one more chain 1 space there that I need to utilize first. So I just finished this cluster. I'm going to chain 1 like I always am supposed to do after I complete a cluster, and I'm going to do one more cluster in that last chain 1 space of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I get to 4, I know I have 5 loops on my crochet hook. Yarn over and go through all 5, and then chain 1. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Those are all my clusters. I'm down to these last 2 single crochets of the row, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the first single crochet, and I'm going to put a double crochet into the last single crochet of the row. And it's a little hard to show on camera, but there are 2 single crochets there. Go into the last one because you want to keep a nice straight edge. Okay, and we just put a double crochet there. So go into it, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, like that. Okay, and that's the cluster row. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. And now basically things are going to start to kind of repeat between row 1 and row 2. So remember, at the very beginning we started with 2 single crochets right there side by side, and then we started the chain 1 single crochet, chain 1 single crochet, chain 1 single crochet, etc. So we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So I chained 1, I turned my work. The difference is, yes, we have a chain 1 space there, but before we use that, we're going to first put a single crochet basically in that same stitch. So you see here, that's the double crochet in the front. We're going to put a single crochet in the top of that double crochet in the back. So you see that little hole there? That's where we're going to insert our hook. Right there. And then put a single crochet. So there's a single crochet right on top of the double crochet in the row below, and now we're going to put a single crochet in this chain 1 space like that. Okay, so now we have our 2 single crochets side by side. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put a single crochet in every chain 1 space in between each cluster. So we chained 1. Remember, there's a chain 1 in between the clusters. So there, 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 there. Okay, so let's do that. So here's the first cluster, here's the second cluster. Let's go in between there and let's put a single crochet. Yarn over, pull through the front, yarn over, go through 2, chain 1. Here's the next cluster, and there's that one after that. So go in there, just like that, very easy. Chain 1, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. And what you can do is you can stretch it out a little bit so you can clearly see where to go. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. Alright, now we have this chain 4 at the end of the row. Oh, I forgot to chain 1. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we have this single crochet here. Remember, we began the row with 2 single crochets, and that's exactly how we want to end the row as well. So we're going to put a single crochet in that chain 4 space, right? It's chain 4 because of that chain 4, and that's the space. So we put our first single crochet just into the chain 4 space, and then we put the next single crochet, because remember there needs to be 2, into the top so that third chain up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So into the third chain up of that chain 4, we put our last single crochet of the row in there. And now we've ended the row with 2 consecutive single crochets the same way we began it. And guess what, you guys? The pattern from here on repeats. So basically this row that we just did is the exact same row that we did in the beginning, and it's the row that we used is the exact same row that we used to put the clusters in for the next row. So now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn our work. So remember, whenever it's a cluster row, we chain 4. Whenever it's a single crochet row, then we just chain 1. And now we just repeat. So remember, you want to chain 4, and then we turn our work, and then you want to begin putting clusters into the chain 1 spaces. So this is the first chain 1 space, right? That's single crochet, chain 1 space. So that's where our first cluster goes. I'll do one more one here. So go in there, yarn over, go through 2. 1. You know, I'm a fan of counting. 2, 3. Remember, 4 of them gives us 5 loops on our crochet hook. Okay, 4. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we yarn over, go through all 5 and chain 1. Find the next chain 1 space. So that's a single crochet. The next one, that's a single crochet. So the next one is there. And then we'll just start our clusters. Okay? I will meet you at the end of this row, just so you can see what it looks like. Alright, I'm working my way to the end, and just in case you guys are not exactly sure where you need to go into that chain 1 space, the chain 1 space is occurring over the clusters of the previous row. So here's a cluster, that's the chain 1 space there, see? So yarn over, and then we open that hole up a little bit and go in there. Okay, it just occurred to me a while off camera that you may be a little bit confused about where you should insert the hook for that chain 1 space, but it's not hard. So alright, so to finish this row off, I did the last cluster in that chain 1 space, chain 1, and then I skipped. Remember, the previous row has 2 consecutive single crochets. I skipped one of them, and then I put a double crochet into the last one. So this is how you make the cluster stitch. I hope this tutorial is helpful. Please just continue repeating rows 1 and 2. You can make something like a scarf or a placemat, whatever you want, okay? Just remember to start out with an even number of chains. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video.